It is December 27th and I only have a couple more days to make this video, so I'm gonna try to make this as quick as possible. I'm trying to do a no by January, so I only have a few more days till January starts to get this stinking thing up. I've never done this before, so what better month is it to try this challenge than January, start of a new year? Okay, you may wonder, why would someone want to do this? Or the reason is to save money. And while that is partially true, that is just one reason. That's just the, I guess, surface to the a little bit bigger iceberg. I've actually never done this no buy officially before. So if you're thinking about doing this is my first time too. Where's my keys? So in this video, I'm going to talk about why I've been putting this off for so long, why you should try a no buy month, the rules and guidelines to it, and prepping for this thing. Yes, there are some purchases and projects that I would like to save up for, so this little extra bit of cash will go towards that. But also, this challenge will help teach myself another form of discipline and self-control. I could go on about this for some time, but I've been thinking a lot about instant gratification. In this day and age, if you want something, you can have it immediately. And that's great when it comes to convenience-wise. But I've noticed recently it's been having a bad effect on my patience. Rules have their place, but it is tempting to break and bend them when they are set too strictly. So that's why I'm not doing that. I'm not setting any rules. I'm looking at this from more of a guidelines perspective. What do I exactly mean by this? That's what I mean. Right there. What do I mean by that? Let me explain. Instead of looking at this from a black and white perspective, we are going to use the analogy of a traffic light to help categorize the type of purchases. Your green lights are anything that are pretty close to a need or a must. For example, rent, food, cleaning products, toilet paper, bills, gas, transportation. Okay, those are kind of a no-brainer. Skipping up to your red lights are the opposite. These are things you absolutely cannot purchase, like impulse buys, anything you already have too much of at home that you're still purchasing more, things you don't really need. These are pretty straightforward as well. But this is where we hit sort of a gray area, or a yellow light. Your yellow lights are purchases that aren't as a given that you have to spend, but at the same time, they're not a complete no altogether. With this guideline, I've noticed many approach this differently. And from what I've noticed, this also really depends on the why you are doing this no buy. So before you even think about starting this, ask yourself, why am I doing this? And is this a big enough reason to follow through with this? For me, I'm not rolling in the dough, but at the same time, I would like to hone in on intentional saving and spending. So, I'm not trying to torture myself here. Okay, so this is how I'm gonna do my yellow lights. This might get weird, so bear with me. I'm allowing only replacements for necessary items. For example, I have enough skincare. I can tend to buy more when I already have enough at home. So if I run out of something that I use daily or so often, I'm gonna replace that, and only that, nothing new. Another yellow light is for one book. I know this sounds weird. I'm doing this only because I'm not a huge reader, and I'm trying to change that. I already have one book that I have not read that's been sitting in my house for years. So if I finish that book, I will allow myself to buy one new book. Another yellow light is recreation. Okay, so I don't want to mindlessly spend money on high-ticket experiences and eating out excessively. I'm going to try to keep this to a minimum, as this brings me to my last yellow light. And that is prior commitments that I've already made. Again, I'm not going to make myself suffer, and I already made these arrangements ahead of time. So I'm not going to cancel them and be cheap, okay? Okay, so those are my guidelines that I will be trying to follow for the month of January. Hey, whoa, yeah, rough changed the video. I just want to say real quick that I'm almost done editing this video, and I just want to thank you if you've made it this far. I know this video is probably pretty rough just because it's the first full video I've ever made. So if you did make it this far, thank you so much. I love how in the beginning of the video I was so stressed out about filming everything that I'm like going into the first couple frames like, hello. And now I'm just like so happy this thing is done. So yeah, thank you again for making this far if you have, and I will be putting up an update if I follow through with this challenge or not. To be honest, I don't really view this like that much of a challenge because I've already kind of done this before, but this is my first like official month that I've done this, if that makes sense. But hopefully I follow through. Hopefully I put up an update. But yeah, I'm just so happy this is like, okay, all right, goodbye.